You should start with that basketball game from... All right. He's not even here, and I got to get laughed at? Shut up. All right, let's start with this basketball game from last night. Obviously...
Yeah, I like the looping. It was very funny.
Yeah, I mean, Julius Randle hit a three early, and okay. The Nets used to have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and we used to beat the Knicks all the time. All right. We got this out of our system, so the Nets gave up 142 points last night to the New York. All right, shut up. Enough of this. I get it. You can have your laughs. You can throw the daggers through me. And quite frankly, we all deserve it. We all deserve it. We have seen one of the most incredible 180s I have ever seen in this town. I mean, I have witnessed it. Mm-hmm. From I have the superstars, and I have the championship aspirations, and you're a bunch of whiny losers who are jealous. I got to own what this is now. And what this is now is you're better. All right? You've surpassed us. You are of a better team. You've got better players. You have stars now, or at least guys playing like stars, specifically Jalen Brunson. And last night at Madison Square Garden, I was in the building for this, I got my ass whooped. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. And congratulations to all the Knicks fans out there. You beat my ass. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. It was a rough night for you. Your team sucks, huh? I mean, listen. Everyone today is now just, it's a good time to be a Knicks fan, no doubt. Lukey was talking about it yesterday, laughing at all the chirping Net fans. I mean, I don't know where they are. We work in a sports radio station. I've been around people who love sports my whole life,
well,
and there's like three of you. You ever see that scene in The Truman Show where she's yelling at him and doing like a commercial for the knife, and Jim Carrey's just kind of like, who the hell are you talking to?
Right. It's funny, last night in my pain and misery, I wanted to check out how my man, Keith McPherson, was dealing with this. Right. So I went on his Twitter account, and all he was doing was tweeting about the Devils. And I said, where am I? Like, where's my moral support? I was looking for it.
No
and
support.
It was gone.
No support. Yeah, I mean, listen. Today's a great day to be a Knicks fan. Granted, I think it's not necessarily the game to just go nuts about, to be honest with me, because I watched that game and I thought your team was awful. Yeah. I mean, let's just be totally honest. The Knicks hit every shot, true, but they were sloppy with the basketball. Defense, they didn't play much in the first quarter either, but I thought the Boston win, obviously, is a much more impressive win. This was, you don't want to have the letdown of following that Boston win with a bad performance against a bad Net team.
Yeah, look.
Let's just be totally honest what it was. The Nets were awful in that first quarter.
And they've been awful. And here's the only time I'll spend on the Nets, because I think the Knicks do deserve the proper credit, which I will give them, is that what boggles my mind is the Nets have a really good collection of defensive players. They do. Yet their team defense sucks. Their team defense is like historically bad. And I understand communication, gelling, a coach that needs to figure out his rotations and not play Dorian Finney-Smith at the 5. So I'm going to try to be patient over the remainder of this season. But they were bad last night. But what was funny in the first quarter, and I jokingly said this to BT off the air, but it was really true. So I went there last night. I was with my dad. We both had hoagies. The hoagies were absolutely fantastic.
Is he planning his next trip to Puerto Rico or no? Is he okay?
I'll tell you, Knicks keep winning. He is. You don't like him either.
Oh, today they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals, baby.
So
140 points.
We sit down and watch this game, and Cam Johnson hits a three. I'm pumped up and I'm clapping like, here we go, 3-0. This is my building, y'all. I know. Julius Randle's being doubled in the corner. It's the opening possession of the game. No one had to see this. I get it. So, 30 seconds in. That's fine. But this is how I knew. So Julius is doubled in the corner and hits like a fadeaway three from the corner. I don't even know how he got the shot off. Mm-hmm. And it went right through.
Yep.
And when it went right through, I just turned on my seat. I sit on a bar stool at the Garden, and I spun, and I looked at my dad, and I want to clean this up, okay? I said, we're bleeped.
Yeah.
That was it. And from that moment on, Jalen Brunson never missed. Quentin Grimes, oh, my God.
I know.
Oh, my God. How many times is he open in the freaking corner? Mitchell Robinson is just offensive glass.
He changes them, man. He brings a different element. But to your point, there was a 5 or 6 possession stretch where I don't think the Knicks hit rim. I'm not even kidding. We'll go back and watch it. It was nothing but net. I mean, they hit everything. And to your point about the team defense, how many opportunities does Randall have to just throw the ball cross court? Yeah. I've never seen so many cross court one-handed toss passes like that in my life.
It's funny. So in the NBA, it's a game of runs. Obviously, you're going to give every team one opportunity to get back into it. And you remember the Boston game from a few nights earlier. The Celtics had a few chances to get back into it. The Nets had a moment in the third quarter. And no, I did not leave at halftime, but more on when I left coming up.
Oh, I'm sure you ducked out early.
There was...
It's becoming your style.
No, you can finish the laugh, Connor, if you want to start it. Go finish it then.
It's becoming your style, Mr. I never leave games early.
I'll defend myself in a second.
Yeah, okay.
But Julius Randle, and I get it, the Knicks won last night. You should be happy. They scored $142. They're playing great. But I'm watching this as a Net fan, obviously. Julius Randle tried to get the Nets back in the game. Like, I witnessed it. Y'all witnessed it. And the Nets would not cooperate. Julius is throwing up air balls. Julius is dominating the basketball. Julius is turning the ball over.
Passes behind his back. Yes. It looked like he was, dribbling like a 7th grader with the ball 6 feet in front of him sometimes. Like, they were sloppy at a lot of points in this game.
And the Nets missed, I think it was 2 or 3 open threes. They could have cut it to like 12, which I'm not saying they come out and win the game, but they had a chance to make it interesting. So Julius tried to bring the Nets back into the game. They didn't. They failed. The Knicks looked awesome. And if you look at the way this basketball team has played, and I'll give you the exact line of demarcation, in the grand scope of things, it's when Tom Thibodeau kind of cut down his rotation a few months ago.
Right.
But really, in the second half, they come out, first game out of the break, they're down 19 to the Wizards, about 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. And I was feeling really good because I want to be perfectly honest with the audience. You remember the crack committee that Chris Russo formed against the Yankees with Bob Husler and guys like that? Mm-hmm. I'm like my own crack committee against the Knicks. And maybe I need to reform it, like a New World Order of crack committee against the Knicks. And I think the way we would form it is not just Net fans who hate the Knicks, because there's very few of us, but people that hate basketball. They can join too. Because if you hate basketball, you should hate the Knicks. Because the better the Knicks do, the more basketball we talk. So that's my coalition, plus Ranger fans. Ranger fans, I'm talking to you right now. I love you guys. And let me tell you, you got an ally in me. I'll tell you why. Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane's coming. You're going to be in the Garden tonight. You have a hotter ticket than the Knicks. You're a bigger deal than the Knicks. You got a better chance to win a title than the Knicks.
No doubt.
All we do is talk about the Knicks. Ranger fans, you need to root against the Knicks. Ranger fans, join me. It's the new crack committee. Angry, bitter Net fans, people that hate basketball, and Ranger fans. Join me for the New World Order of hating the New York Knicks.
You're never going to get it. I spent years fighting that crack. I was constantly fighting the crack committee, nonstop. I was the punching boy for Bob Husler in the crack committee. Don't form a crack committee. Let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy it. Your team has no chance anymore. What's the point? It's not even a rivalry right now. Let's be totally honest. I know it's still, 2 out of the last 11, right? That the Knicks have beat the Nets, but it just feels it. The air is out of the balloon of your team, and the Knicks are playing the best basketball they've played in forever. And we all know it. We know we talk about it forever. What Brunson has done to this team, and the fact that they have 2 guys now that can get points at any moment, like the other game against Washington. Yeah. And even against Boston at times, when Brunson doesn't have it, Randall has stepped up and he's scored points. And then Brunson down the end of the game and what he's able to do as a finisher. I mean, they've changed. I think the offensive rebounding of Mitchell Robinson.
Mitch coming back to big help, especially on the defensive.
And he looks as good and as healthy and as fast and as high jumping and as shot blocking as we've ever seen him. He looks terrific.
Look, the Knicks, my hatred aside, I will always try to be the IBO, the Independent Basketball Observer. I'll go back and forth. They are playing incredible basketball. What they've done really since about the 5-minute mark of the second quarter against the Wizards, where they erased a 19-point deficit, cut it to 4, and then in a back-and-forth affair on the road against Beal and Porzingis, they pulled a really good win out on the road to then destroy the New Orleans Pelicans like they weren't even facing somebody, to then destroy the Celtics, which is essentially what they did. That was a non-competitive game. And then to back it up last night against my hapless Net team, the Knicks deserve all the credit in the world. And I don't think Knicks fans need to go crazy about we can go here, we can go there, we can go to the finals. Listen, we got a month before the postseason starts. Right now, it is simply, can you get to that 5-4 matchup, which you're at? Can you get to the 4 seed where you've got, kind of home court advantage like we saw 2 years ago? Can you continue to move up and play great basketball? The schedule remains tough. The Miami game tomorrow night is going to be a great challenge. Playing the Celtics again is going to be a great challenge. But honestly, I got nothing negative to say. They played absolutely Oh, wait. I do have something negative to say. Correct me if I'm wrong here.
All right, you're probably wrong.
So I'm at the game last night, and I noticed that you people, you Knicks fans, decide to chant Derrick Rose's name in the fourth quarter. And it's not the first time you did it. You did it at the Pelican game. When you're blowing a team out, your human victory cigar is Derrick Rose. You chant his name, and you want him in the game. And a couple of games ago, Tom Thibodeau said, you got it. He brought him in the game. He got a standing ovation. The Garden crowd was very, very happy. That did not happen last night. There were Derrick Rose chants. He never got into the game. I think that is incredibly disrespectful. The man has won an MVP. The man is not Brian Scalabrine. Like, why are you treating him like he's me? You're treating him like, oh, let's chant for Evan to come into a game. He's fat out of shape and can't play basketball. Like, why
Which
are
we
you
established
people,
yesterday.
We did.
Yeah.
Why are you guys chanting for Derrick Rose like he's a novelty act? I find it, I got to tell you.
Oh, would you stop
As an IBO, I find
Would
it
you
very
Stop
disrespectful.
it. What's wrong with you?
What?
What's wrong with you?
What do you mean?
Is this what you've reverted yourself to?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, clutching at straws to come up with some nonsense to kill a fan base that has finally got the upper hand on you after 4 years of dominating them?
What?
You had 4 years, my friend. I'm tired of this nonsense where, the Knicks fans, if I could, any team that would make me leave the country, you made up a whole stupid game so you could say that I don't want to see the Knicks win. You came up with this entire stupid game of Puerto Rico just so you could say I don't want to see the Knicks win. But the truth of the matter is, for 4 years, it was a circus, and in the open, you only got one round of victory, but you've had the upper hand on this fledgling franchise for the last 4 years. And for 1 week now, 1 month now, they've got the upper hand, and you got to clutch at straws about who they want to see on the court.
I'm just saying,
when they were blowing out your team.
Very disrespectful.
You got some nerve.
I mean, why are we treating Derrick Rose, who had such
Not treating him. They want to see him.
They want to see him.
They
Oh,
like
my God.
him.
Like he's the Philly fanatic?
Oh,
like
stop.
he's a mascot?
No, he was arguably their best player heading into the postseason the last time they made it.
Now,
I know.
Now you chant for him to come into the game. Now, as far as leaving early is concerned, and I invite everybody to join this conversation because we're all human beings, we're all adults, and we go to sporting events, whether it's a basketball game, a hockey game, a baseball game, a football game. And at some point when we're at a game, whether it's with your kids or it's by yourself, we have to make decisions, okay? We all have to make decisions. This is not about last night's Knicks-Nets game. This is about life. There's a moment at a sporting event where you have to make a decision, what am I doing? So last night, personally, I always want to be honest with you, when Jalen Brunson hit that corner three with about 4.5 minutes to go to extend the Knicks lead to 27, I made a decision. I made a life decision. I made a business decision. I turned to my dad. I said, listen, Father. I don't call him Father. I said, Dad, if you don't mind.
Excuse me, sir.
I think this is our moment to exit. And he agreed, and the timeout was called, and we left. But here's what I noticed when I left. I wasn't the only one leaving. And it wasn't the tons of Net fans that were there.
Right.
The Brooklyn Brigade didn't leave. They were still chanting Brooklyn Bridges with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter because God bless their souls. That building was emptying out with Knicks fans. And I'm not ripping them at all.
Right.
I'm saying I kind of get it. Like,
Yeah.
I know that if my team won, I would have stayed till the bitter end because I'm a vengeful douche, and I admit that. I want to enjoy every second of beating your team in your building, so I would have stayed. But even if you're a Knicks fan last night, if you're a Yankee fan, remember that game against the Cubs this year where Matt Carpenter hit 17 home runs and you beat him like 25-1?
Yes.
Do you remember that game?
I do remember that game. I remember that whole series. They scored a ton of runs that whole series.
If you're a Yankee fan and you were at that game on that just gorgeous, I think it was a Saturday late afternoon.
Yeah.
Didn't at some point you make a decision and say, I think we should go? I mean, the game is over. Now, sometimes it's based on the time. Maybe it's 10 o'clock. The game's taking a long time.
And the place, quite honestly, because I don't know how many people actually drive in and park at the Garden or whatever, but it seems like to me that's the easiest exit access there is. You walk out, you get on the subway, you're in the city, whatever. Like Yankee Stadium, you're stuck in a parking lot. Citi Field, you're in the parking lot waiting. You want to beat the rush. Is there really beating a rush out of MSG?
So the answer to that question is maybe not from a traffic perspective, but when you leave the Garden is on stilts. Did you know that?
Yes.
It's on stilts.
Yes.
Like it's above the ground, like really high.
I know what stilts are.
I'm just explaining it.
Right.
So when you leave Madison Square Garden, you got to go down a lot of freaking stairs.
Yes.
I mean, it's like forever.
Yes. A lot of looping around the staircase.
So
yes.
I have a personal staircase I found that I usually get before anyone else, and I walk by myself, which is great when your team loses by 57 points to the Knicks on a Wednesday night. But you're walking down a lot of stairs, and if there's a lot of people there,
Gets crowded?
It gets very crowded, Big Mac.
It's ridiculous.
I don't think people want to deal with that.
It's ridiculous.
But at Yankee Stadium, there aren't games where you decide. And baseball's a little different because there's no clock.
Never.
Baseball's my one exception with you, Big Mac, because other than an obscene score like 18-1, a baseball game's never really
There's
over.
no clock in baseball. Did you know that?
Until now, there's no clock
there
in
was
baseball.
never a damn clock in baseball.
But like in football, I went to the Jet-Jaguar game. Remember that game?
Yes.
On Thursday night?
Oh, I remember it well.
There was a moment where the game was mathematically over.
Yeah, kickoff.
And remember they forced the turnover on the opening possession.
Oh, I do remember that. That's
No,
right. Yeah.
well, I'm sorry. Computer Craig will not laugh.
I know. I was looking for
At
it. I thought I
anti-Jet
had it. Oh, yeah.
Like if I said, watch this. Shut them off for a second. Let's see if this works. Okay. Hey, Computer Craig, Kevin Durant made his son's debut last night, scored like 25, and they won. Hey, that gets him to laugh. But isn't there a moment in any sporting event where we decide it's time to go?
Yeah, I mean, of course there is.
What are we doing?
I think it's different for everybody. Me personally, I have a tough time leaving because unlike you, and I think Tommy pointed this out beautifully yesterday, we live in the real world. And I don't get, and most people I would think, don't get to go to as many games. So for me, going to a Yankee game or a game out like that, most of the time my kids are probably already asleep, and I'm going to milk the night out for everything I can.
That's a fair point.
I like that's the only. Yep. I love the pitch clock, but I'm probably the only person here who wants every Yankee game to be 3.5 hours because nothing bothers me more than looking up and it's been an hour and 10 minutes and we're in the 6th inning, and I'm like, what? I don't want to leave.
I get that.
So like. This is a unique opportunity for a lot of people. They spend a lot of money. I would think you would want to milk the experience for everything it's worth and see that final call and see, the shaking of the hands and the victory, especially in a win.
No, I get that.
But I think there's a time and a place, especially if you're looking to beat traffic. That's why I think MSG is a little bit different. I know, me personally, every time I go there, I'm taking the subway, I'm taking mass
Big Mac, I'm not, and this is not shade. I know people are going to take it this way. The Garden was emptying out when I was leaving.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just Net fans saying, hey, we're being embarrassed.
The whole place is opening.
And by the way, I respect everybody who left. Like, they made a decision. Hey, at 4 minutes to go, up 27, what am I doing?
Yes.
And by the way, did you see that they reviewed the final play of the game to make sure if it was a shot or not?
I know, it's ridiculous.
Who stayed for that? I mean, unless you bet on it.
I think you can walk out at that point.
Oh, that's
but still, the point is you have been Mr. I don't leave, Mr. I stay till the end. And I know you're giving me this mathematical, like you came up with some sort of algorithm that you can prove definitively when a game is over and when it's not.
Correct.
The fact of the matter is you were tired of watching your team get their ass kicked, and there came a point where there is enough of a ass kicking I have taken where I'm getting this ass and getting up and leaving. It wasn't necessarily, if you carry Dad, you bring that calculator with you, if you add this multiples of 10, divide by 3.14 pi, it's not an algorithm. I've had enough of watching this team get their ass kicked, and I know it's over.
The one thing I would admit is that baseball is the sport where I would always fear. So I tweeted out early in the game last night, when is it too early to leave? And it was very interesting, a lot of the responses. A lot of Net fans said leave now. A lot of Knicks fans said go F yourself. You just sit there and watch every second of it.
Go work on your foul shots.
My guy CP, the franchise, was mocking me like, where's the season ticket holder at? But one thing I said, and I said it to somebody who came over to me that night, there's a lot of lovable Carton Roberts fans, and no one was mean to me. I have to say, they were all very, very nice. And most of them
to your face.
To my face. Yeah. And they all ended the conversation by saying, let's go Mets, which I thought was like, let's meet with common ground. But one guy said to me, will you leave? And this was halftime. And I said, here's my problem. Even though I know this game is over, I'm not an idiot.
Right.
I would be devastated if they came back. Like, I do have the fear of missing something crazy. And again, the last two games the Nets played against the Knicks last year at the Garden were both ridiculous comebacks.
Yeah, I remember.
They were down 27 in one of them, I think 22 in the other. I may be off by a point or two. And I would always fear that. So that's why you can mock me all you want.
The fear factor.
Once I know mathematically it can't happen, rack me, I'm out, as Jim Rome would say. Like, I'm done. Because now I don't have that fear. I know it can't happen. So it really is a mathematical equation.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. There's just a level. You know when it's over. You know it's over earlier than when you leave. You know it. There's just a level that you can't tolerate anymore. And we all fear the same thing, and you're right, baseball. There is nothing worse. And it's happened to me once or twice in my life. there is nothing worse. As a Yankee fan, I'll use as a Yankee fan perspective. There is nothing worse than being in the car and hearing John Sterling make the call of your team's amazing comeback and victory after you've already left. There is nothing worse. It hasn't happened to me in a long time.
Oh, but it did happen?
In a long time. It's happened to me
Why
once
did
or
it happen?
twice.
Because of kids?
Yeah, no, not because of kids, because it's been a long time. Because of who I was with was busting my shoes
who
to
you
leave.
were with? Who the hell were you with that made you leave? Kids, we all understand. Trust me. I've left games for my kids, and I have no regrets. Like, if I want my kids to love baseball or sports, I can't force it on them. And as much as you people think I do, I swear I do not.
Okay.
Like, once... Okay, look at you.
I'm not trying. Listen.
You think I'm a liar?
I'm not thinking you're a liar.
You think I'm a liar?
I don't think you're a liar.
I won't force it on him.
We've talked about this. Right now, the Rangers, right? He likes hockey. He's getting into hockey.
Who, Jet?
Yeah, Jet.
That was a phase a year ago.
Well, listen,
we got rid of him.
Well, it's coming back up because we might not talk much about the Rangers, but, I mean, if you look at their lineup, it's as talented a Ranger lineup as we've seen in forever. Like, this is going to be a legit run.
All right, what's your point?
My point is you're not going to open yourself up to allow him to enjoy the Ranger run. You're going to shield him from it. You open up to things you like, and you shield the things you don't.
We will get to your phone calls on this. Obviously, the Knick win, if you want to brag. 877-337-6666.
Oh, it had to come out.
We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York
I'm a loser. I'm a loser. I'm a loser.
I own
Nice.
it. I own it. I got to live with it. I got to deal with it.
Look at Connor trying to outdo me as a board op. Thanks a lot.
I got to tell you, that was an incredible job.
That was a good job.
We'll get to the Yankees, the Mets, the latest out of camp. Plus, what did Joe Shane today, and what does it tell us about the future? And Ranger fans, I am your friend. You are sick of the Knicks. You're sick of the attention they're getting. Join me on the New World Order of Crack Committees, the committee that can't stand the Knicks.